trout rods, salmon rods, striper rods, halibut rods, downrigger rods, lead core rods, spinning rods, and more. If you want a high quality, high performance rod that won't let you down out on the water, go to fishhuntshoot.com and check out our selection of high quality, high performance fishing rods. Howdy guys, Kel Kellogg here. Now when I'm out in my kayak looking for trout and the water's cold, you know, in the spring, in the winter, in the fall, I almost always have a spinning rod just like that, equipped with a slip bobber aboard. I don't always use it, but I like to have it. Now I've explained how slip bobbers work here on the channel a number of different times, but let's do a quick review. What's so interesting and which makes slip bobbers so effective is that there's a bobber stop on your line that allows you to fish a bait, you know, suspended under the bobber at virtually any depth, you know, within reason. If the fish or, you know, wherever you want to fish that bait is within 25 feet of the surface, say, you can use a slip bobber, you can suspend that bait right at the zone where you want it to be, and you're off and fishing. It's great for bank fishing, but it's very effective when fishing from a kayak or a boat or whatever. So here's how you set one up. It's very simple. Your main line right here, first thing you do is you put a bobber stop, and let me hold this up so you can see it, on your main line. Now that's a commercial rubber bobber stop right there. I had this rod rigged up when I went to Rollins the other day. I ended up getting skunked and I didn't even use this, but as I said, I like to have it on the boat. So commercial bobber stop, and then on your bobber setup, I've got a small bead and a large bead that jams against the bobber stop. So however far that bobber stop right there is adjusted from your bait, that's how deep that bait's gonna fish, and you can reel this into the reel and you can cast with it. So you can cast with just just the bobber pretty much beyond the tip of the rod, the bobber and the leader, and then the line, once it hits the water, is going to slip down through that bobber. The bait's going to take that on down, and you're going to be fishing at a controlled depth. Below the bobber, in this case, I've started using pretty big bobbers, so I can use one of these fairly heavy trolling swivels that has a trolling weight rather, that has the swivels at both ends, and I find that works really well. I get really positive line feed through the bobber. The bobber sets up nice and straight there, and you can vary the amount of weight here to make that bobber almost neutrally buoyant on the surface. So when the fish does take the bait, he feels very little resistance. And then from that trolling weight with the swivels on it, I have about a 30-inch leader that goes down, 8-pound test fluorocarbon. I just got it down there to a red octopus hook because I wasn't sure if I used it, if I was going to be using a salmon egg or a worm or whatever. Long story short, I love fishing with slip bobbers, but one of the problems I encounter out on the water at times is I'll run out of those little bobber stops, or I'll lose them, or I'll forget to put them in my tackle box or whatever. And for a long time, if I didn't have those commercial bobber stops, I was pretty much dead in the water. But then I was out at Shasta a few months ago. I was on the houseboat trip, and I wanted to keep fishing with a slip bobber, but I didn't have any of those bobber stops. What to do? Well, this is what I did, and I'm going to show you a quick hack that will keep you fishing if you don't have bobber stops, and really, you don't need to buy bobber stops ever again. Let me grab a couple things here. I'll show you what I did, and it'll help you if you find yourself in a pinch. I'll be right back. So what I did is, of course, I was with my wife, Gina, so we had the full toiletry bag with everything you could possibly need, including dental floss. So I grabbed some dental floss, just like this, and I pulled off a fair length of it, like that. Actually, probably a little more. I'll just clip that off like that. Toss that over there. So now I've got this section of dental floss, and I've got my little scissors here because I'm going to do some trimming in a second. But I've got my section of dental floss, and this might be kind of hard to demonstrate right here, but I'm going to give her a shot. I've got a section of 20-pound line just so you can see it, but I want to show you how to attach a bobber stop to this line, how to make a bobber stop out of this dental floss. Super simple, guys. So you just get your line, hold it fairly tight, take your dental floss and just form a loop, okay? Doesn't matter where, anywhere, and just start going through that loop with the end. Make a bunch of wraps. You're wrapping around, I'll hold it up here. You're wrapping around the dental floss, but you're also wrapping around the main line. And just do a bunch of wraps. Now once you get down to that point, grab both tag ends, start to pull, and that dental floss has a lot of control because it's waxed. As you can see right there, it forms a little knot on the line. Now you take your cutters, you want to trim that. I don't like to trim it all off, but trim most of it off. Leave about 1/8 of an inch, 1/16 of an inch, whatever. So trim that off right there. Hold this up like this. Trim that off right there. And guess what? You've got, hold it up to the camera here, you have a bobber stop that will slide up and down the line. It's very firm because that dental floss is waxed. That's how you make a bobber stop in a pinch. I've experimented with braided fishing line. 65-pound braid will work too, but it's not as controlled as that dental floss. That waxed dental floss, it's tacky, so it wants to kind of grip the line. It works very, very well, guys. So if you find yourself out on the water and you don't have your bobber stops, or even if you don't want to buy bobber stops anymore, get some waxed dental floss, keep it in your tackle kit. You know, dental floss is good for a lot of stuff. That stuff's tough. You can stitch up your pants with it. You can fix a lot of stuff with it, and you can make bobber stops out of it. So I just thought that was cool. I love tinkering with stuff and figuring things out when I have a problem out on the water. So cheap bobber stop in a pinch, keep some dental floss in your box. It's just a quick tip, guys. I'm out of here. I'm Kel Kellogg. If you are looking for fishing gear, not dental floss, fishing gear, go on over to fishonthoot.com and please subscribe to my channel. I love sharing little tips like this with you guys, and also the longer videos of fishing strategy stuff like that. Anyhow, I'm Kel Kellogg. I want to thank you guys for all the support you've been giving the channel. We are totally pumped over here. We are having the time of our lives making these videos, fishing, reporting back to you guys, all that kind of stuff. You stay safe, healthy, happy, and have a wonderful day. I will see you next time right here on YouTube. I'm going to go floss my teeth. Anyway, thanks a lot, guys. I'm Kel Kellogg.